Hey everyone, welcome to your March monthlies, and each month we've been focusing on a different chakra. January was the root chakra, February was the sacral chakra, this month will be the solar plexus chakra. That's all the yellow, that is the color of the yellow chakra, the solar plexus chakra. The root chakra has to do with how we kind of relate to groups or the world. The sacral chakra was how we related to another individual. And the solar plexus chakra is more how we relate to ourselves. So the theme of this reading for this month, we're going to look at how can I honor myself more. So we're going to dive into a reading for each zodiac sign, and we're going to jump into your sign right now. All right, all my Pisces, this is your reading for the month of March, and we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the You Are Awesome deck. And this is going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about your month of March and how you can honor yourself more. I'm just going to one more time here. All right, so for our Pisces, what would you like them to know? Okay, actually, you get to those right there. So you get to, because you are too awesome. Got this one here, which says, I seize the opportunities all around me. Set up camp and live in the moment. My kind of intense. So yeah, this is about really understanding what you have to bring to the world. You know, when it talks about honoring yourself, it's about getting real with who you really are instead of like visiting and, you know, going back and forth like, okay, yeah, I can, oh no, I can't do that. I can't bring that to the world. Okay, yeah, I can. No, it's like you go there and set up tent and really dig in to who you really are and what you are able to give to the world. And then you have the little, my happiness is based on my own greatness and the blessings I've been given. No drama for this llama. Yes, I love that it's by your own greatness, not by the greatness that other people say you are, but you're finding your own greatness from within because you're honoring who you really are. So I love the combination of these two together. I'm also going to pull from this stack here. This is the major arcana of this deck, and here's the minor arcana, which we'll talk about in a moment. But this is from the Sun and Moon Tarot, and what I do is I split off the major arcana. And this represents like the major general energies for the month of March, and then I'll talk about the minor arcana when I get into those. But let me just mix these up a little more here. Okay, and then what else do you want our Pisces to know about their month of March, please? For our Pisces, okay. Yep, they do want to give you two, so we will make a space here for those. And you have the Lover's card, which this is a great card because this is about emotional choices, but even more so, this is about living your passion, because the cards that come before this are all about the rules and the supposed to's and the shoulds and, you know, all of that stuff. And it kind of reminds me of like when we're children and we're living in that praise and punishment and that fear of letting someone down and losing our praise. But like somewhere in our teenage years, we're like, you know what? We have this, our first love or our first crush, or we love a rock group or a music group or a, you know, movie that we're not supposed to see or something like that, and or something we're not supposed to watch on TV. And we do it anyway, and because our passion for it outweighs the fear of being rejected or punished from it. And so I kind of feel like this is what's happening here during this month, is you're finally to this place in this area of your life that this is going to be talking about, that you're ready to, like, you know, I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'm going to live this passion of mine. I'm going to share it with the world. I'm going to let it flow out of me instead of trying to hide it. Yeah, because here's the star. And the star here, this is your higher self. This is hope. This is sharing. You're not gonna hide your light like under a bush. No, I'm gonna let it shine, like that old song. This is like you are tired of being hidden in the darkness. You're ready to shine bright. So I love this for you. I'm also going to pull a card here from these Dark Tarot. What these are going to represent are messages from your shadow. And your shadow is like your tour guide in this life that we have chosen to live here in this amusement park of fear, for this adventure that we're on. And the shadow brings you messages from your unconscious, your subconscious. And you can think of it as like if you ever have a computer and you have something running, a movie playing or a video or a song playing, and you minimize that on your screen. You don't see it in your face anymore because it's behind the scenes. It's still running, still impacting you, but you don't see it. And the shadow here is going to bring messages. I'm going to pull 4 cards, one for each of the minor arcana, which I'll talk about in a sec. So let's just pull these first. Okay. I feel like it's these 2. And then what else? And you get 2 for that final one. So, okay, there we go. Get that all set up. Put these to the side. And let's dig in. So the 4 suits of the minor arcana represent 4 aspects of your human experience that you have here. The first suit we're going to look at is the wands. And think of wands as like your drive, your ambition, your spark, your aha, inspiration, your passion, which is kind of what we're talking about here. It's also your spiritual energy and the energy that you're dealing with. So this will be what the Creator wants you to know about your energy and that passion, that spark during the month of March. So for our Pisces, and happy birthday to all you Pisces that have birthdays in the month of March. Or even in February, if you're watching this, of course. All right, there we go. And you've got the 7 of Wands. This is such a great card for this because you'll see here they're standing like on a hill, and these other people are the ones that may be trying to burst your bubble, trying to tell you that your passions are not worthy of being lived. Oh my goodness, you're not doing what we think you should be doing. And before, that is what kept you small. That's what kept you from shining. But you're beyond that now. And this message is that you don't have to even defend yourself. You are beyond that feel of, I don't even need to explain what I'm doing to anyone else. Anyone can have their own opinion because they always are anyway. And I don't care. I'm going to live my life, and you have the higher ground, which is great with this because that's victory and this is valor. You have the ability to stand tall and not worry about any of that. Let's see what your shadow has to say about that energy too. Yeah, you have the 3 of Swords. So the fear that's underlying it, the 3 of Swords is the expectations card is what I call it. And normally you'd say like this heart in there with 3 swords stuck in it, and that's the fear of being rejected, the fear of being unloved, of being ostracized, of being, that's what the fear was holding us back before. And now you're like, psh, you know what? I'm finding my greatness from within. I don't give a rat's boo-boo-boo-boo about what you think about me anymore because I'm going to live my dream. I'm going to live who I am, which is great. And then we're going to pull a card here from this Return of Spirit deck. See what else the Creator wants you to know about this beautiful energy that you're having, which it's not arrogance, it's not being a douche to people, it's just being you. You're allowing yourself, like it says, you're honoring yourself where you felt dishonored before you, and that's what the shrinking was all about. They already just had this card pop out here, and you've got Union card here. I'm just going to put this over here. And we're going to read this one from the book. But this is this uniting, this coming together, realizing that we all are one. We all belong to the family of these beautiful beings of unconditional love and light. And this says the union card represents the energy of two loving souls coming together in union or in partnership. And I really feel like this is, of course, not about like a romantic relationship. This really is about you coming together with yourself. These lovers in here represent like your human self, this little shadow that we talked about that's living this human life, that has the roots of fight or flight at its biting at its heels, and then the powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that you really are. And it's this coming together of the two for this experience. So this two becoming one, walking hand in hand, where you don't feel like you have to destroy your shadow. It's a piece of you. It's like the yin yang, or the yin yang, depending on how you say it. You see how each has the other in it. You know, the light, the big brightness, has the little human side, our little shadow piece in it, and then our shadow piece has our spirit in it too, and it's that beautiful movement together, this joining together. I actually have this new series that they had me start putting out this year at the beginning, which is called U times 2, which I'll have linked at the end of the video here somewhere at the end, and it is about understanding the two of us that are living this human experience and how we can bring them together in that union. So I really encourage you to take a look at that, because this is so much about that. Then we move into the Pentacles suit. Pentacles are coins. It's the earth energy. It's the outside world, where this is your spiritual, that spark within you. This is going to be your mind and your emotions. All that's internal. This is all the external. So all those other characters that are on stage with us, all those situations out there like jobs and education, all those other situations that we get into in life. Also all of like our body, even our physical body, our possessions, our bank accounts, all of that external stuff. So this is what the Creator wants you to know about your outside experience during the month of March. So for our Pisces, that's the one right away. Yep, you have the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles, the eights are about like this wisdom that comes. The Eight of Pentacles, and I really love the way they have this, because it has all these hearts that are growing on here. And this is like you've been an apprentice for a long time and you were studying under a master, but now you're ready to become your own master. You're moving to this next level, to this next stage in your life, this next cycle in your life. And so this is about expressing, and because I love this with the hearts, expressing your unique talent. And the way I look at that, the example they gave me that helped me was, they showed me like a blacksmith, and they have like this apprentice that works under the blacksmith, and they learn the way the master blacksmith does everything. They basically regurgitate and replicate what the master does. And so they do that, and they do that, and they do that to the point where they're going to become a master, and they move to another town and they become the blacksmith for that place. Well, when they are out from underneath that master, they no longer feel that restriction to do things exactly as that master wanted them to. They get to express their creativity and their own way of doing things, and they even expand their mastery. That's what I feel you're doing here. See what else your shadow has to say here. Yep, you've got the Temperance. Temperance is all about the balancing. It is this beautiful, like we talked about, this union. The Temperance will have like sun with two cups. One cup is your human self, and one cup is the Ace of Cups, which is your higher spiritual self. That is the chalice. It's the the Holy Grail. I was trying to think of, the famous goblets, right? That is full of the living waters of the Creator of all things. And it's like the Star card here too. It's the pouring of that living waters down into the human side here. It's allowing it to fill you up. And so there is definitely this correlation, with that union, the Temperance, and the Star card here of this coming together, and the Lovers too. It's this bonding and coming together and filling up of your human self with the higher things. We're also pulling a card here from this Spirit Junkie deck, just to see what else the Creator wants you to know about your physical adventure during the month of March. So what else for our Pisces? Okay. And you've got, love it. Stars. Star in the sky, right? The sun reflecting on the moon, and it says, I bring peace with me wherever I go. So definitely with all these stars and everything, and reflecting again, you shining yourself. And I love this because as you stop the battle within you between the shadow and your higher self, and the shadow is hungry for the unconditional love of the Creator. It's like the shadow is hungry for the light, and the brighter that the light shines, the less of the shadow is there, because the shadow converts to light, right? So it's like, when the sun starts to rise, there's these long shadows, but when the sun's over top, there's less shadow, right? So that's kind of the example that they're giving me here. And we're moving next into the sword suit, which is the air element, which is our mind. So it's our thoughts, our beliefs, our mindsets, our attitudes, our expectations, like we talked about with that Three of Swords. And this is just going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about your mental adventure during the month of March in regard to honoring yourself more. Okay, there we go. King of Swords. So this is double air. All the kings have air, and then this is the element of air. So you've got a lot of mental thoughts going on, which makes sense with the Three of Swords there, because the King of Swords wields the Ace of Swords here, which allows them to, one, connect to the capital T truths of the upper realm, to understand who you really are and connect to that beautiful wisdom of the upper realms. But it also gives you the ability to slice away those small T truths we talked about, those expectations, all those fear-based of the shadow and of this human world. We're able to question all those thoughts and beliefs and go, is that really true? Who made that up? Why do I believe that? It helps you cut through that and cut away those thoughts and those beliefs that no longer serve you. Let's see what your shadow has to say about this too. You got the Three of Spheres, which would be the Three of Pentacles, or the Three of Coins. And this is about your authenticity. And the story that comes with this that they gave me, which this is what the shadow wants you to know about, is that usually they'll show someone working on this beautiful piece of art, and there's someone standing behind them and someone standing before them. The person standing behind them is the naysayer, the person, the dream buster, kind of like the Seven of Wands here, those people that are poking at the dream, right, which we've talked about already. And it's like, well, obviously those are the ones that are so vocal that we are like, yeah, we're just going to put you out of here. We know who you are and what you're doing, and you're doing it out of either fear, or actually they're doing it out of fear because they either are fearing for you or they're fearing that you're going to make them look bad. Either way, it's all fears going on in them that they're expressing, and you just put them on the outside. The person in front is the person who's praising you and your supporter, right? And our human ego, that praise and punishment, it likes the praise part. It's like we love that support and that validation from the outside world, and people are going, this person is saying, wow, I'm so proud of you for what you're doing and how you're doing that. And that's amazing, and I'm behind you 100%. But have you ever thought of doing it this way? And they're doing it out of, usually not out of spite and not of anything else. They're just sharing what they're thinking, and they may not even expect you to change anything. But we, in our little world, don't want to lose their support. We don't want them to go to the other camp and become a naysayer and talk about us behind our back and reject us, right? So out of all of those two, the one that might be even more able to pull us off our authentic path and not allow us to express ourselves the way we want to express ourselves is that. And so this card is that awareness that comes. And, you know, I like when it comes back to here about that you are finding your greatness over this one, that your happiness is based on your own greatness and the blessings that can be given. And you are finding that within yourself, not being swayed by either camp in that. And that's what this is wanting to kind of reiterate to you. And then for this one, we're going to pull a card here from the High Vibe deck and just see what else the creator wants you to know about this mental adventure. But there's this freedom that comes from your thoughts and beliefs, allowing you to be more connected to your authentic path, how you authentically want to share your unconditional love with the world in your own special way. So what else? What else would you like our Pisces to know? Okay. And you have beep, buzz. Let's see what this says. It says, bring awareness to your day. Every time you hear a beep or a buzz from your phone or computer, take a conscious breath. So I love that because we can get so caught up in our minds. We get so caught up into the world on the outside that I used to have. I might need to do this again. You know, it's always a great reminder when you get these little nudges from spirit, right? But I would, when I worked in corporate life, I would get sucked out into all the busyness and lose my peace, you know. And so I had a hourly vibrating alarm on my phone that said breathe, and then sometimes I had come back to now, and whenever it went off, it was like, oh yeah, that's right, come back to this moment. And I'd try to stay in that moment before I got sucked off, you know, 5 minutes later back into the thing, and then an hour later, oh that's right, come back to the moment. And it came to where I was able to stay in the moment more and more with those reminders to come back to now. Breathe. One of my dear friends, I told her about it, and she's actually doing it right now, and we'll be out to lunch or doing something, and she's like, what's my phone? And she's like, oh, that's right, breathe. And so we both breathe and come back to the moment. And I love it because it helps us come back to this moment and get out of our minds. So perfect. And then we're going to move into the cup suit, which is water, which you are a water sign. So this is where you live and you breathe. And card already popped out. The water is all the emotions. And so this is totally your world and nothing to be afraid of here. So this is just what the creator wants you to know about your emotional adventure. And do you want any others besides that one? Yep, I want this one too. Okay. So the first one that popped out here is the Eight of Cups. And so the Eight of Cups is leaving behind those emotions that no longer serve you. They have been serving you for a time because you did come here, your shadow, like we said, that amusement park of fear we came into. We came here to experience those rides, and you have been experiencing them. But you are ready to leave those emotions behind because you're ready for something new. You're kind of bored of feeling the old emotions, and you're ready for this new adventure. So I love that. And then you have the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is kind of called the nostalgia card. And the six is about movement. And so this is movement of your emotions. And I love this because this is about transforming your old memories of what a situation felt emotionally. And as you really connect to your higher self and understand those emotions that no longer serve you, you go back and you look at those that are like just constantly bombarding your heart in your mind, right? And you look at it and go, okay, was that really true? What was going on? You know, because when you look back at a situation, everything in our life is either of unconditional love or of the fear of losing conditional love. So when you go back and look at a memory, and you look at someone else's actions towards you that triggered emotions within you, you can look at it and go, okay, was their action of unconditional love? Probably not if it's triggering you like that. So it's like, oh, so their action was of fear of losing conditional love. And when our human body goes into fear, what happens is, one, the blood rushes from our brain and we go out of our minds. We're no longer responding in an emotionally mature way. We're reacting like a little child, and because we're fearing, and we feel out of control, and we want to gain control, and that can look like a variety of things. It can look like abuse. It can look like a very over-controlling person, a verbally abusive person, a manipulating person. And so all that person's actions were because they were acting out of their minds. They were in fear. It was a cry for love. And when we're able to go back and look at situations and start off with small ones, if you jump directly to the most extreme ones, it's going to be hard to grasp that and get it around there. And I always start with small ones first, and then we're able to see it and go, oh yeah, that clerk at the grocery store, they were really snarky to me, and I was like, oh my God. But then I'm like, oh wow, they obviously were having a really fearful moment. And so it wasn't about me, it was what's going on in their life. And so you start to see the memory in the situation differently. You start to see that person differently. And probably more importantly, you start to see yourself differently in that situation. So there's this transformation of these emotions that happens with this, where you start to truly honor yourself more, like we're talking about, because of it. And then you have these two from the shadow. Let's see what they wanted you to know. Yep. So you have the Hanged Man, which is all about seeing things from a higher perspective, seeing things from this star that you are, from that higher place, which allows you to transform these, because you're seeing those capital T truths, like we talked about with the King of Swords. And then you have the King of Wands. And the King of Wands, for me, represents, which is funny because this is all about seeing things from a higher perspective, the King of Wands would be the highest spiritual energy that you can experience, would be your higher self, connecting to the Creator, connecting to the spirit realm. And so I love that this is all this combination of, the more you're able to look from a place of unconditional love, you can see where you acted out of conditional love and the fear of losing conditional love, and how when you pour unconditional love into that moment, how it transforms how you perceive it, and it helps you perceive future events differently as well. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from this affirmation deck, and this can be an additional message around what the Creator wants you to know about your emotional adventure. But since it's your final card as well, this is going to be a wild card. It can be whatever else the Creator wants you to know about your month of March. So for our Pisces, what is your final message for them, please? Okay, you actually get two. And the first one is clarity, which is what we were just talking about, right? Getting clarity around what situations really meant. It says, stopping to listen to my inner self. I can easily separate my intuition from my mental chatter. The clarity of my intuition, or your higher self, right, is a sweet, simple fruit that tastes familiar. And the mental chatter is a confusing, bitter rind that I shall peel off and chuck into the garbage or compost heap if your mental chatter happens to be organic. So this is so perfect for what we were just talking about. It's getting out of the fear of losing conditional love, and connecting to that higher, beautiful, unconditional love. And then you have authenticity. We talked about this already, didn't we? With that 3 of Pentacles, or here was Spheres. Authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I will feel it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. Whoever doesn't get it doesn't have to get it. but at least they know it because I've said it. And that's way better than leaving a passive aggressive note about it. So this is beautiful because this is about being your authentic true self and not worrying about how other people are going to react or respond to what you have to share and what you have to say. It doesn't mean we have to be a douche about it and be mean and vindictive or whatever about it. When we share our truth and our authenticity with unconditional love, it comes across very differently than a blah, 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 right? So I love this transformation that is coming for you in the month of March. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the reading there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these monthly readings, I do also put out weekly energy updates by each of the elements like water signs, fire signs, etc. Also new moon, full moon readings, and a variety of others. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click that like button, then also click on the subscribe button. That's going to give you access to this little notification bell. And when you go into there, you can select all, which will be the setting to be notified of any new videos that come out from this channel. Also, doing that helps spread the love, because when you like a video or share a video or subscribe to a channel, it makes the YouTube algorithm so giddy. It wants to help share those messages with other people too in those videos. So if you want to do any of those things, of course, I am truly grateful for that. Also, these are general readings. If you want even more specific information for your life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. So if you have that need or that desire, you know where to look. All you Pisces, just know as you go throughout each and every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. You have an amazing March. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. And until then, you take care.